We've spent a lot of time talking about the what, the why, and the how of habits. Now we're gonna dive into the when. This can be really broken into two different parts. The frequency of your habit, so that would be how many times you do it per week, and the timing of your habit. That's at what time you do it each day. Let's first start with frequency. How often you perform your habit matters. If you try to go all out and do your habit 5 times per day, you're likely gonna crash and burn. Unless of course your habit is napping, in which case you'll be pretty damn relaxed. But if you do your habit too infrequently, well, then it's a hobby, not a habit. The best frequency to aim for is one that you can stick to for the long run. It's far better to read 25 pages a day for 30 days than to read 750 pages in one day. Because we're not just trying to reach an arbitrary goal, we're trying to make these behaviors stick so that we can stop thinking about them entirely. To do this, you may want to break your habit down into the smallest possible unit of measurement to make them really sticky. This is what personal trainer Nate Green calls shrinking the change. So when Nate's working with a new client, he'll try to figure out a workout plan that's almost too easy. Let's say that a client comes to him and says, hey, I want to build a habit of working out 3 times a day. The first thing that Nate is going to ask is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you can actually go to the gym 3 days a week? 1 being not confident, 10 being very confident. If the client says anything below a 7, he'll shrink the change. He'll then ask, what about 2 days a week? No? Okay, what about 1 day a week? Once the habit builder's certainty of hitting that consistency is 8 out of 10, that's the target. And that's the only metric that they measure for the next couple of months. They aren't counting calories or tracking their weight. They're simply checking to see if they can consistently go to the gym 1 day a week. As Nate Green says, it seems like such a small change, but for someone who's never worked out before, that's 52 workouts in a year when they'd done 0 beforehand. The added bonus of starting small with your habit is that it helps to build self-trust. When you stick to your habit for long enough, even if it's a small one, it's affirming and helps you to build confidence in yourself. You begin to see yourself as someone with grit and discipline, which often means that you're more likely to stick to other bigger habits in the future. Next, you need to work out the timing of your habit. Whether it's in the morning, afternoon, or night, doesn't really matter. There is no right or wrong when it comes to slotting in your time commitment. Creating some consistency around when you perform the habit day to day can be helpful, and it's not a huge surprise why. You might even be able to see how your current habits often fall at the same time each day. Maybe you exercise in the morning before work, or you meal prep for the next few days in the evening. Think about the time of day that feels most appropriate to the habit that you're trying to build. It might even be helpful to find a time when your body feels naturally more energized. Everyone's body is wired differently. Some people are early birds, some are night owls, and others too could be afternoon penguins. So get intentional with the timing of your habit so you can stay consistent for the long run. The time of day can be a powerful trigger to start your habit, but it's also important to stay flexible. If you start to tell yourself, I can only work out in the morning, or I can only meal prep at night, you're setting yourself up for failure. Life is always gonna throw the unexpected at you, and so being able to adapt regularly could be the difference between you being a habit pro or a lazy potato. Okay, so now we're gonna take out our metaphorical microscope and zoom all the way in on your chosen habit. Head to exercise 10 of your workbook to shrink down your habit into bite-sized mini habits, so you'll never have a good excuse not to follow through again.